Plenty going on, Fletch, as we head into the second round of finals. The NRL is set to help fund $100,000 emergency charter flight for the Cowboys. The NRL has allayed the Cowboys' travel fears with the governing body to help fund a $100,000 emergency charter flight for Friday night's finals blockbuster against the Sharks. NRL Airlines has come to the rescue to ensure North Queensland Stars arrive on schedule for their sudden death semi-final at Allianz Stadium. The Cowboys were forced to explore an urgent contingency after 2 commercial flights that fly direct to Sydney were all but sold out, ironically due to demand from their own North Queensland supporters. Flights from Townsville to Sydney are costing as much as $1,700 return as Cowboy fans flock to Sydney to get behind a North Queensland team that is 2 wins away from their first grand final since 2017.
Get them on the train. Get on the train. Just have an overnight stay on the train. But remember a couple of weeks ago or months ago, there was a report going around the NRL was thinking about buying a jet, buying a plane.
They should.
This was because of, well, not because of, but they were thinking that the Papua New Guinean side would be in. And so it might be.
That stacks up.
Yeah.
So how many would you need to fit on a plane to an NRL game? So 17 players, say 20 players, 20 staff, 40 people?
Maybe you probably could cull them. Doctors, physio, coaches.
35?
Maybe.
What does a 35-seater plane set you back in today's market, do you think? 50?
Dom knows.
Dom knows.
To hire it?
No, to buy one.
50,
they want to buy
50 what?
50 mil.
I know, we were looking up these planes the other day. You can get a plane for like 3 or 4.
3 or 4
5 million. 5 to 10 million.
5 to 10 mil?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be brand new.
Buy it. Worth it. That's US, what it said. So like
what do they do with those planes? Because, you know, Bonza's just gone belly up.
Bonza, yeah.
Bonza Airlines, they're gone. What about Scoot? So who goes to buy them? Is it like Pickles Auctions? Can you go to the auctions and just buy a plane?
I reckon they're the ones you end up flying on when you go regional New South Wales and you end up on those dodgy little planes. They're probably the X.
You mean with the double propellers?
Yeah.
The Dash 8s, I think we call them. No, they're a bit rank.
Yeah, they're rank.
Where do those planes go? I think they might just get swallowed up by the big boys. Anyway.
Probably.
Hailstorm Hillary, sorry. Biggest turn-off. Constantly rearranging the lower furniture. Half the time you blokes don't even know you're doing it. Makes us think you've got a few down there wandering around. So Hailstorm Hillary, I'm a big go at that. Just adjusting. I'm a mad pinch and roller. Pinch and roll. Pinch and roll. Sorry, Hailstorm.
The Dragons are set to part ways with their CEO. An approach from South Sydney boss Solly. This is via Michael Chummas of the Sydney Morning Herald. St George Illawarra will part ways with Chief Executive Ryan Webb after deciding not to renew his tenure following 5 years at the helm. The decision to move in a different direction was solidified at a board meeting on Tuesday morning, with the Dragons planning to look outside the club for a new CEO. Sources with knowledge of the situation, talking on the condition of anonymity, told the Herald that the Dragons approached South Sydney boss Blake Solly to gauge his interest in the position.
Oh, okay. Big clean out. Big clean out. Are you across the Ben Hunt when they pulled the offer? So he had an extension on the table and they pulled it.
It's gone.
So do you think he's on the way out?
Oh, you'd have to think. I mean, if I was a club saying I'll sign Ben Hunt for 2026, you want him immediately, right? He's 35 years old.
I think you're right. There's a bit of mail going around that he might be going to the Gold Coast.
What did Gordy say?
Oh, who knows?
Does he give you mail?
He doesn't give me mail. He just gives me angst.
Has his attitude changed since he became the big hitter on 360?
No.
Has he got more swagger, more importance?
No, well, he's certainly not making citizen's arrest like our man Braith.
Braith arrested someone?
Citizen's arrest up the Robin Hood Hotel. Didn't you see that?
No.
So some bloke let off a fire extinguisher and Braith just got him in this headlock and just said, "Get out." Grabbed him by the shirt and just manhandled him. It's pretty strong, Braith.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't. It was all over social media.
Do you reckon Braith's struggling being single, or do you reckon he's doing all right?
I think he'd be going all right.
I figured that.
Boys, all those planes are leased. Bonza, Virgin, Qantas, etc.
Yeah.
So who owns them, John?
Do you reckon they got a big balloon payment at the end?
Oh, imagine the residual. Holy hell. How are you going to pay that? Yeah, John, who owns it? Who owns all the planes if we're leasing them? Anywho, that's all we got.
Here's a statement from the Dragons regarding Webb. Ryan Webb will depart as CEO of the St George Illawarra Dragons next April after 5 years in the role. During his tenure, Webb led the club through both challenges and triumphs. What were they, Brooksy? His leadership, vision and commitment have left a lasting impact on the club's structure, culture and performance. Dragons chair Andrew Lancaster thanked Webb for his contributions, saying Ryan is a great person and has been a strong leader for the club. He took on the role during a testing time as COVID impacted the NRL, bringing in much-needed reforms and guiding us through a period of significant change over recent years.
This is a big job. This is a huge job, and well, I don't know who. Brooksy's asking me who. I don't know. You come in, Brooks. Who would you like to see? I think you've got to get someone like a hard ass.
Yeah, are you buying or selling stocks in St George heading into 2025?
Buying.
Yeah, I'll buy too.
I'm buying.
Damien Cook, Val Holmes.
I'm buying.
One more
Flano. Flano is showing.
Potentially, are they out of the race for RCG now, or are they still sniffing around?
I think the sniffing has stopped.
Well, he wants 3 years. My mail is he wants 3 years, and they're only offering 2, which is smart business.
Yeah, it is. I think it'd be great for them. I think they're one more signing off, maybe another outside back.
You want someone. You don't want someone who's in the a CEO who necessarily is rugby league. Has been involved in rugby league. I think you've got to get someone out who's just
businessman,
good, but not even businessman, because the money that comes in is from the NRL. Every club basically gets their salary cap. I think you need someone with a great culture. And someone who can get the best out of their staff. And I don't know who that would be.
As a fan, the two key areas for me where the CEO needs to look at is the juniors and the whole situation with St George and Illawarra. And you need, the crowds,
is that a CEO or is that a football manager?
No, but you need someone that's going to implement the right people to look after those areas.
Hire the right people for the right job.
So you need a CEO who will hire a Gus.
So the Dragons crowds, I don't know exactly where they sit. I reckon they're in the bottom 4 on averages. And let's not, we had Anzac Day included this year. If you take that out, they're down the bottom 4. I don't understand how that can be the case with a club like the Dragons. Yeah, they pull a lot away, when they go up to Brizzy, within Sydney, big crowds. Something's going on with the use of multiple stadiums, like WIN stadiums. They seem to get a bit more than Cogra. I'd love them just to play at one. I don't care where. Just lock it in and probably play more games at Allianz 100%. Too when you're playing another Sydney team. They need to get money into the club. The juniors, we've got all these great juniors, and as you can see, they're mostly playing at other clubs.
Yep.
Like you see in the finals series, you've got these guys that have grown up on the South Coast or in Wollongong, and they're playing for other clubs. What's going on? So we need someone that sort of comes in, sort of similar to what Phil Gould has done at the Panthers and the Bulldogs. And I know he wasn't at CEO level, but someone that can see that and see longevity and strategic plan in terms of getting the Dragons back into the finals. We haven't played since 2018. It's ridiculous.
Head, as they say. Yeah. So if you get someone like a CEO
operator
who makes people accountable, and then that will trickle down to the players, because it does. And at the moment, If and I'm not saying that Ryan Webb hasn't done this, but if he's not making everyone accountable, everyone just you walk into the change rooms or the training facility, and he goes, well, he doesn't care. Why do I care?
Well, we've seen Flano come in. We had Griffin, Mary, all sort of leave. I don't know if Mary left in the tenure of Ryan Webb. So 3 coaches, no finals experience. If that is the case. Plenty of juniors leaving. So, yeah, I think what they've got
some board level issues as well at the Dragons?
I think there might be. I'm not obviously privy to that, but there hasn't been too much harmony when it comes to the management of the Dragons. We've got the Gordon family involved heavily. With Lancaster is the chairman who has been brought in from the Gordon side of things. There's a lot. There's a lot to look after, and as a job, I can see a lot of people going, it's probably not a good job to have, but some people going, this is actually a really good job to have because there's a lot that needs changing.
Yeah,
and they can bring success. And
you can build it,
like you saw with the Bulldogs, if you can get the Dragons in the finals, you're probably getting similar crowds not as big at Allianz for their finals.
How many versions of Gus, like a Gus-like figure, are there in the game?
None. None.
But Shane Richardson was meant to be similar, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Gus. Gus has got the media connections, and
Yep.
he worked in the media for so long. He's also coached. Obviously, he's a successful coach. He's played. He covers every base. It's very hard to replace him. Imagine you could get Peter Volandis as your CEO.
Oh, from Wollongong.
Imagine
boys.
that from Wollongong.
Abdo takes over the
Yeah.
RLC and
We'll get.
NRL.
I mean,
PBL
someone
comes
like
back to
that.
the Gong.
Would you have confidence if you got Peter Volandis?
100%. We've just had the first season of 20,000 averages. Like you see the spike after, and it did happen in the AFL, but
Yeah.
you can see everything that's happened from rule changes to the aura that the NRL has now, and it stems from the leadership of both the NRL and the ARLC, and the decisions that have been made with the media as well. That's boosted up, and Volandis has led that.
Stevie from Perth, boys. When I think leadership and strategic thinking, Ben Eichen comes to mind. Benny Eichen was at the Broncos. He fell out.
With Kevy.
This is the problem with rugby league, I think, generally. Although our game has exploded and we're now worth $1 billion, I think we're still in that old mindset. You know, you got to have played the game. You got to be a knockabout. You know, I think those days are gone.
Well, is it not case in fact with what's going on? Like, I know the Sharkies had to ask to have their home final, but like we're past having
hour.
week 2 finals at
11,000.
13,000 seat stadiums.
Yeah, why would you even ask the question?
The NFL's not doing that. The NFL, I know we're not the NFL, but you've got to grow.
NBL?
AFL got rid of the
Even if
smaller
you look
stadiums.
at, like Geelong is playing at the MCG this
Yeah.
weekend.
It doesn't even come into. It doesn't.
No.
Oh, Brooksy's gone. Everyone, listeners, Brooksy has stormed out. Oh, sorry, we're going to have to go to a break.